Okay. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Thursday Live. So today, John, of course, would want to be here with us, and Catherine, but both are in Germany for the annual Creative World. They are, of course, thinking about the event today online. And yeah, we will do it with the rest of our Daniel Smith family, beginning with our beautiful couple, Gio and Letty, all the way from Italy. And we all know that Thursday Live, for every Thursday, we explore colors. And today we're going to talk about blues. We'll try to give our best. We'll give our best, not try to give our best, but we'll give our best to help us navigate our newly launched interactive color map, which is the C Lab. And to help us today, we have four of our brand ambassadors. We will start with Rick Anderson from USA. You can wave your hand, Rick. Rick there. We have Sabine, who's now in Switzerland. You'll be amazed. We are the world today. We have Besnik from Kosovo. We have Rajat from India. And we have Carrie as well from the US. Okay, so we want to have Gio first and Letitia to welcome everybody and to start our session today before we proceed with Rick.
Okay, thank you to all, and thank you to all the family. And today explained 20 blue color and applying my top cam. One moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Starting from Moon Glow, not Primatech, Shadow Violet, Lunar Violet, Indigo, Mayan Dark Blue, Indantron Blue, French Ultramarine, Ultramarine Blue, Cobalt Blue, Phthalo Blue Green shade, Lavender, the beautiful King Royal Blue, Verditer Blue, Phthalo Blue Red shade, Prussian Blue, Cerulean Blue Chromium, Manganese Blue Hue, and to last, Phthalo Blue Turquoise and Cobalt Blue. Okay.
Oh, the lunar violet, no.
And the lunar violet, no, sorry. Okay. And starting in, I explained, it's possible to share in the screen?
Yeah.
Syllab.
Okay. In the syllab. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to start with C Lab now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then after this, Gio, John would want us to, how he does the presentation at the start. He has under his resources up on our website, we have this pigment color chart. After this part, we're going to go through the colors and just maybe the first 10 we'll breeze through the list just so everybody would be familiarized with what to look into the Excel.
Okay.
So you can go into the interactive color map called Syllab, and the blues are in the third quadrant, third zone. So this is the cool area, and you can search and filter by scrolling down by family. Sorry, Carrie. Family and blue. You can isolate the blue. Then, for example, you can find indigo here. Indigo is near the 0. Here there is the luminance. So the luminance is from black to white. And all the colors that are on this range from 0 to 5 and -5 are very dark. So indigo is very dark, more dark than indantron blue. So we can select the indigo, add to compare. Then we can select the indantron blue, add to compare. Then we cross here, and then we push compare.
We have the
characteristics.
For example, all both is non-granulating, and all both is transparent, but change the pigment.
Why indigo is darker than indantron? you can see that indigo had the pigment blue 60s, like indentron blue, because it is made of indentron blue pigment, plus pigment black 6, there is lamp black. And then the luminance here is, the value is 27, so it's less than 28 of the indentron blue. That means that indigo is darker. So, and A stands for the lines you have seen from green to red, the horizontal line. B stands for the vertical line from yellow to blue. So the more the B is light, so it's small number, it goes toward the yellow, so it goes up. And if minus 29 go down, so it is more blue. So that means that indigo is warmer than indentron blue. We can see again here. So this is the line of the yellows, and this is the line toward the blue.
Show, for example, in 3D mode.
Waiting for the uploading.
Okay, and in this case, I search the blue in 3D mode. And I have these beautiful tools for moving and explore the perfect color. And for example, I selected non-granulating, have this change, and semi-opaque is not blue because I don't have a semi-transparent. Only one is Mayan darkened blue. It's transparent. This is indigo, indentron blue, phthalo blue red shade, a phthalo blue green shade. And selecting the staining mode. For example, low staining is Mayan dark blue, high staining is the phthalo.
Of course, phthalo are very staining.
Medium staining is indigo, indentron.
Giovanni?
Yeah.
I don't know whether now's a good time, but you have it on that 3-dimensional plot. How do I read that when you're rotating it? Is it a way to graphically see what information do you get from that particular graph?
In the 3D, we get the facial information, which is more
for the circular view, for the sphere view, it's 3D mode.
I think if you go to 2D modes, it resets again. And we have again to search again to blue, and it's flat. This is very flat.
Right. I know that part. It's what do you get from the 3D-ness? Is it a graphic? Is it a visual way of seeing what is bluer or what is lighter and darker?
Yes.
More exactly?
Yes.
I can see in the face. But for us, it's more clear in the 3D than flat.
Okay, show me in 3D how it's more clear to you.
So for example, like before, this is the flat mode.
Yeah.
2D. And previously we have seen
when I, for example, when I had all the colors, this is in this case the color is under or this.
But they are not one over the other.
For the clearance is better through 3D mode because
Let's say we select one color, Geo, and then we put it on 3D mode.
It's perfect.
Start easy.
It's perfect view for
Oh,
the perfect position in the space. Okay, for
What?
example, now I select the, oops,
This one on top.
so,
Yes.
okay, I search the segment,
Single pigment.
oops,
Sorry.
is my computer, for example, cobalt teal blue. You have in this space.
Ah,
Oops.
lo devi aspettare di
yoo-hoo.
Is arriving.
It's like cobalt teal blue.
Is
Questo potete-
French ultramarine, for example.
Okay.
Then we zoom in.
This is a perfect position in the space.
You see, it's in the bottom because it's towards the very, very blue, the dark blue. So it's
Yes.
down, go down, not up. If you're looking for up position, you will find some yellow.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
that is a very powerful instrument because, for example, when you create the color wheels, it's very, very important to have these instruments.
For example, cerulean blue and cerulean blue chromium, they are in different position here. But in flat, you will see like this.
The 3D mode is very, very perfect for
Yeah.
this mode.
Or
Kind of like being a color surgeon, getting into the body of the color.
Yeah.
that's true.
Example, here you may see the ultramarine, French
Yes.
ultramarine and ultramarine blue. I don't know if
Yes.
Yeah, it's very,
Actually,
very because the French ultramarine is the same, pigment, but the
Right.
is different. It's very, the size of the parcel is very different. For example, I show you in my top cam. Okay.
The difficulty is we're looking at three-dimensional information that's projected on a flat screen. We're being flatlanders. And we really need to have our goggles, our 3D goggles on to be looking at this graph and being able to see it in 3 dimensions. The flat screen is not a way to present this 3-dimensional information.
Yeah, maybe. I get what you're saying, but it's as close as we
You
can
have to.
get without a laser, without a
No, it's-
hologram.
You need goggles.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to look at it, if you want to look at it on a flat screen, you need to project 2 images side by side, taken 5 degrees apart,
Yes.
cross your
yes.
eye,
yes.
and look at the
Yes.
That's
image.
what
in
Bill
between.
said last week, right, Bill?
I can show you again.
The good thing about so what John has envisioned is to have all these tools available for you. We have something we call it interactive map, which has the capacity to do a 3D dimension viewing of colors. But at the same time, we have as basic as our color chart, the pigments chart. And in fact, today he wants that chart. I think most of you here are familiar with that chart. And he wants us, in fact, today to still refer to that chart, read it as the colors are displayed row per row.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We still have that very basic info. So we like to pretty much cover different forms of information for all of you, artists of different experience. So Gia, we can stop for a while and we can always come back
I show
for
only the
part.
last compare, for example,
Okay.
color blue, red shade and green shade. All the both is ink staining, or non-granulating and transparent, but change the
Luminance.
luminance is 40 and in this
50.
case 50
Mhm.
is
More
changed
like, yeah.
more light. Is a perfect instrument for all the information for all the color.
The more big is the luminance number. So 50 is luminous, more
Okay.
luminous than the other one.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you, Gio and Letty. So what I'm going to do next is to share the pigment characteristics list, and it will show all the colors that we'll look in today with the help of our brand ambassadors.
Mhm.
This sheet here gets updated weekly. My brain is telling me, let's do a quick test. Can you recall the first set of colors that John shared? They're all below this sheet here. So for today, these, if we could just all look at column A, these are the colors that we will explore, beginning with, in no necessary order, cobalt blue violet, moon glow, shadow violet, and all the way to Taylor turquoise. Especially for those first time to join us today, this sheet is actually available on John's resources on our website, but not exactly the same copy because the sheet that we're looking at today gets updated weekly, meaning it has the updated remarks. For example, further on the right, there's a remarks there from our chemist, a short description of the color. It gets updated weekly, but the goal is after the session, the sheet will be updated and all info that you will see on the screen will be up on our website. So for this, just for today, we're gonna do an exercise. Maybe I'll just read the first two colors just so we become familiar with how we read this chart. So on top we have cobalt blue violet, and what do we see here? It's pretty much straightforward. There's even when we review it, which is today. So the common pigment name for cobalt blue violet, it has cobalt blue and quinacridone red. That's in column G. And then as we move to the right, this is where we see the properties. Always we look into light fastness. So cobalt blue violet here says it's excellent. Is it staining? It's low. Does it granulate? Yes, it granulates. And what about transparency? It is semi-transparent. And then if you move further here, column M, it tells you right away in terms of tube size, or is it available in half pan? No, it tells you it's only available in 15 mil. And by now, I think we're familiar. John has repeatedly shared about this column. This column here has all the hyperlinks to color stories, which he gave example last week. Color stories will share more about where the colors from, what is it good for, even some suggestions on mixes and all. And this is the column O, where our chemist puts short description about the color. So for cobalt blue violet, it says it's a beautiful blue violet that has nice granulation. And last, column P, it tells us whether it's cool, warm, coolest, or warmest. I think one example is good enough because we're gonna do the same exercise with John next week. So I want us to proceed now with the first set of colors for swatching. That's really a fun way to learn. And I'm multitasking, so I'm gonna stop share first. And we'll put in Rick's camera. You ready, Rick? We'll give
I am
Rick
so ready.
some seconds
Yeah.
to switch camera.
So do I, okay, let me go
Yeah.
back
Mhm.
to here. Okay,
Yay.
I'll tell you, that chart is just incredibly, wonderfully filled with so much information. And to be able to choose, we're doing the blues today, but having the opportunity to demonstrate what several of these colors will do and how we, as different artists, will interpret our selections on paper or on just painting swatches. What we want to do is to bring to you information about what our colors are capable of doing. So I selected indigo, lavender, ultramarine, King's Royal Blue, and Cobalt Teal Blue. Now the challenge is how to paint something that you feel good about, but also mixing the colors and see how they interact with one another. So this is the palette that I created, and I made sure that I wrote down the colors that I selected, because I'm trying to be very careful about choosing like the indigo and how it reacts with the lavender, and how all of these 5 colors react to each other. Now, I will start by talking about this piece. This is a small piece, like 9 by 12, that I did last night, just seeing what the colors will do and how they interact with one another. And what I'm going to do now is set this aside and start with a brand new piece of paper. Now, I will begin with just the dry paper. I will use just a couple brushes. And I will begin with the indigo. And I like to paint spontaneously. And it's interesting to see how the paint will work, and just laying in some ideas and some movement, because I like my paintings to be free flowing. And as the painting develops, I like the painting to tell me what to do next. Now, while this is still wet, I'm making sure I put a lot of pigment, because as it dries, it will lighten up. And I will probably end up with like a landscape. So I will just randomly pick one of the colors. Let's see what King's Royal Blue does when I apply it to some of this area of the indigo. And being wet on wet, it's just going to bleed in together. And it's interesting to see how the paint reacts with each other. And I also like to get movement. So these are just the 2 colors so far. I will go back now to, say, the lavender. I really like this color. Oh, and about that chart, to me, it's incredible how much information we can gain from what Daniel Smith has done, showing us the colors and what they're capable of doing and all the characteristics. It's just invaluable. I always paint at an angle so that I can let the water blend the colors, create some very interesting effects. I will lay in this cobalt blue and just watch the reaction that the cobalt blue creates. And I put it on pretty thick, and it's still being wet. Look how it just bleeds into the other paint, and it sort of develops shapes and movement, so that if I decide that I want a structure in here, or if I want to make it more of a landscape with trees, I can do that, but it's still very fluid. And I want to continue to work on design, making sure the movement balances and everything works well together. But if you notice so far, these beautiful blues, how they just blend together, and with the contrast that's created. Now, the ultramarine blue is a very dominant blue too, as far as I'm concerned. And it's just powerful. And that's really bright. And I'm going to go back into that with some more indigo, because I really like how this creates a lot of contrast.
Colors and dancing, Rick.
They are dancing.
Yeah. We're going to come back to Rick's piece, because he will just continue to build colors as we go. And
Okay.
we're going to put in Sabine's set of colors now. Sabine, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I agree with Rick. I like for myself when the colors show me what to do, and the pictures show me where it goes. But we start with the colors. I have select 5 colors, and the first is the cobalt blue, violet, and I make a little color chart for myself to see how it reacts with other colors. And so the second is the French ultramarine, and I have the verdite blue and the manganese blue, and at last the shadow violet. And so I make a card. So that one is the original color, and here it is mixed with the French ultramarine. Here's mixed with the verdite blue, and here with the manganese blue. And when I look at maybe that one, so I have the shadow violet with cobalt blue violet. And so you have here the mixture. And when I make that, I go with the color. I started with the cobalt blue violet. I started here to make an area just wet. And I go with the French ultramarine inside that, and with the verdite blue, manganese blue, and the shadow violet. And I go with a little brush inside. It's a flat brush, and I lift the color. And so I create that picture. And here I make the same with a big brush. I make a stamp with the brush. I show you. I go in the water, and now I get the French ultramarine. And now I make a stamp just with the brush, like that. And I have the whole body, not the whole body. Now I create the legs with a darker shade. So I mixed the shadow violet with the cobalt blue violet. And I go and make the legs. And when you make one leg longer, so it means the person go. And I make the head. Just very easy to stamp with a brush. And so you can create such wonderful peoples. They go together. And it's very easy, you see? And now you can make a little shadow. And so I started with the cobalt blue violet, and the second is the French ultramarine, and the verdite blue, and the manganese, and I ended with the shadow violet. And so you just have fun with blues.
Yay. In case you want to find out more about the figure exercises that Sabine has just shared, just check her account in Instagram. She has tons of these exercises. Thank you, Sabine.
Thank you.
I'm going to have Besnik now. Besnik, are you ready? I think your mic is off, Besnik. We've got your camera on spotlight.
It's okay now?
Yes, we hear you now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure always being here with you. For today, I was lucky to get one of the best blues. So I did some swatching here, starting from the lightest blue, which is tallow blue turquoise, and then going down, it's tallow blue green shade. Then this is Prussian blue. You already see that I wrote the names. Mayan dark blue, and the most famous of grays. Maybe for me, it's moon glow. You already know about the granulation and so on. So I did the setting of these blues in that way, how I would do even a landscape or even an abstract piece, starting from like a lighter sky, a little bit more darker blues, and going to the darkest one, which is moonglow. Here I did some mixing of 5 of these colors, just as a swatch. And after we finish with other brand ambassadors, I will paint one of the themes that I usually do, which is a tulip, with these 5 colors. So either I can do it now for about 10 minutes maximum time, or after other brand ambassadors do the swatching.
We can come back. We can come back after Rajat and after Carrie's. So you can actually
Okay,
carry on. You can start painting, Besnik, and then we'll definitely come back to your piece
okay,
that everyone has presented. All right. Thank you. We're
thank
gonna
you,
have Rajat now. Thank you, Besnik.
thank you.
Hi, everyone. So, Ethel, please help me to
You're
fix
gonna
my
switch
camera
first.
because
Okay, let's put in Rick's
is
piece
it okay?
first. Yeah, go ahead. Are you able to zoom in a bit? Just a little bit.
Me?
Yeah, zoom into it
Yeah, just
if that's convenient. We have Rick's cam on spotlight, so fine. You want to adjust it. Are you
is it okay now?
okay? Let me see. It's on sideways, but can you adjust it? Zoom in a little bit. Okay, if that's like the best, it's on portrait mode, Rajat, but that's if that's most convenient now, we can stay that way.
Okay, let me just
Okay,
try
there.
one second. That's a struggle every time I do.
We can stay that way.
Oh, well.
Okay, you may
So
carry on.
so for me today I'm using cobalt turquoise. This is the one. French ultramarine. Okay, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, and cobalt teal blue. So I'll just do a quick sketch. So these are the colors. In fact, I poured in my palette, and I'm mixing with cobalt blue. No, this was the cobalt teal, and now I'm using the cobalt. And as see how beautifully certainly I'm going to use some. So it is more like monochrome for me. Like, you know, the blue is the all.
If someone, any of our guests here is inspired to swatch along and you'd like to share your swatch or artwork, we can do that. Maybe 2 to 3. I think in terms of time, we're pretty much good since last week. Mark, we're gonna call you after Carrie. We see that you have beautiful swatch there. And who else?
So something like this, if you say that, you know how beautifully things been blended. All these 5 colors only. So now it's too much watery, in fact. So let it get dry. By the time the other ambassadors, let's start. Then after that, little bit of, once it's get a little dry, some of the, you know, the deep darkest color, one can do that just to give an impression. So like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajat. Today, Rajat did an abstract swatching,
Yeah.
but for most of our guests here and for those who just joined us, Rajat is also known for his realistic paintings. Like up on our website, he has his 30 birds, right, Rajat? 30, 40?
That's right. No, now it has gone to 70.
70 now.
Yeah.
Bell's
So
reaction.
it has gone. Yeah, I've grown. The birds are also grown, so do I. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna have
Thank you.
Carrie next. Here we go. There you go.
Hello. All right, so if you're following along, I took a page out of Caroline Diebel's during her demo, talked about printing off little color charts. They have them all over if you do a search online, and I printed them off. So I have been following along every time, you know, since the beginning of this, and I've been doing my color chart. So today I have our blue. I've gone a couple past where we're going today, but I went through and have written, so I have it easily defined, you know, the name, and then the light fastness, the staining, the granulation, and whether it is transparent or semi-transparent or opaque. So I've been following the chart along, and this is helpful. I have my paint in these little pans. So, and they're all kind of with their analogous color family. And so I've also, for my own reference, listed what bin, which little container I've noted on my chart so that I can have that. I think this is gonna help. I have them swatched, but having these little sheets like this, I like to be able, I call it shop my colors. So when I'm going to do a painting, I can go pull out all the blue, you know, pull out all of these and be able to shop them. And this has been fun because I have all these colors, but I forget I have them because I think we start using our best friend colors all the time. So I'm going to definitely pull some of these out. So I have 3 colors. So I have the remainder. So Indanthrone, this is one of my all-time favorite colors. I use it all the time for my dark value. With the blue, this painting over here that I've done, this jar, this little demo is, this one is an Indanthrone, is the darkest in here, and it's also phthalo blue red shade. So those are the 2 colors in that one. But the Indanthrone, I love, it's non-granulating. I paint a lot of realistic paintings, so non-granulating is good for me, and it's transparent. Cobalt blue is this middle one right here, nice medium value blue. Very pretty color. That one is semi-transparent. This one is transparent. The Indanthrone is transparent. This one's semi-transparent. It is granulating for this one. And then the phthalo blue red shade. I love the phthalos. And this one is non-granulating. That's a winner in my book, and transparent. So this painting right here, it's hard to see because it's a long format, so it's got a reflection that goes all the way down. But there's a lot of these blues in the entire color chart we're looking at today in this demo painting that I did. And this jar in particular has all 3 of the colors that are in the Indanthrone, Cobalt, and the phthalo. And I've used them in the 3 different values. The phthalo being my mid value, Cobalt being my lightest, and then the Indanthrone being my darkest in the dark values for that jar. And then as I got into the reflection that it was sitting on this glass, we went down into some lavenders, which is also in our chart today, and then the turquoises that are in there. So all of those are represented in this little painting. And then I have a couple of little swatches. I just did the cobalt and indanthrone mixed together. I dropped some white in there just so you can see some play. The cobalt and the phthalo blue red shade, and then the phthalo blue red shade and the indanthrone. But these are colors that I go to all of the time, particularly the phthalo blue and the indanthrone.
Carrie, I have a question.
Yes.
Would you say that you would try to avoid granulating colors when you're doing your glass paintings?
Yes. Absolutely, I do. Unless I particularly want that effect, it frustrates me. And it's kind of funny because when I taught myself with watercolor, you know, I didn't have a lot of, I went to school for design, but I didn't, you know, have anyone teach me watercolor. So when I first started painting, I thought granulation was something you didn't want. And I didn't understand, especially for me, where I'm painting like smooth surfaces and glass and realism, why you would want that granulation. And then you start, you know, talking to people and they're like, well, yeah, you want, you know, people want it for, you know, various techniques, and most people want granulation. But for me, I like the non-granulating. In fact, I used to use the ultramarines all the time for my, you know, this bright blue. And then when I realized the phthalos were non-granulated, I am switched now, and I mostly use phthalos for my blues in place of ultramarines when I'm doing that color.
That's super interesting. I really love the reflection, especially in your painting there. It's so beautiful.
Isn't that neat? I love to play around with that and have the ghost-like images.
Thank you, Carrie. The good thing really about Thursday Live is that you get to see different techniques and color insights from our brand ambassadors and artists from all over the world. And in case you're worried that you really can't digest everything in an hour, no worries, because our sessions are all recorded, available on Facebook. It stays there in our page and also on our YouTube channel. So notes will always be there, virtual notes. Okay, thank you again, guys. Now we're gonna have Mark Bagby, who's from, are you in Africa now, Mark, or somewhere?
No, I'm in East Coast of Canada, in Halifax.
Canada, okay.
Yeah. So it's Blues Week. It's the best week of the year because I love my blues, and there are so many nice blues to play with. Yeah, so Discovery has Shark Week and we have Blues Week. I think it's we've got a better deal. So I like mixing the colors up and seeing what we can come with. So I took 4 of the colors. I took Moonglow, Mine Dark Blue, Lunar Violet, and Indanthrone, and I'll run through them, basically just mixing them up to see what you can come up with. This one's Moonglow and Quinceana, Quinactone Sienna. Gives a nice neutral tint in there, and it calms down the Quinceana quite a lot. Then Mine Dark Blue, recent one that I've acquired, and I'm using it quite a lot, and I'm actually using it more than most of the other blues besides Indanthrone Blue. Very strong, very nice, and very deep, and mixing that with Sleeping Beauty Turquoise creates a nice, beautiful mix. The granulation on those is just out of this world. Next one is Cobalt Blue and Lunar Violet. Again, you can see a sky in there. Beautiful mix. They work so nicely together. And I didn't go too deep into choosing these colors. I just basically picked 2 colors and see how they work. And I advise you to do that all the time with your colors. Just, you know, you can only discover if you actually try and discover. So dig out your colors and play with them. So this one, like I said, is Lunar Violet and Cobalt Blue. It also, that you can see is basically like Nightfall to me. And then I've got Indanthrone Blue and Serpentine Genuine. Indanthrone Blue is my favorite blue. It's just so dark. Its tonal range is so wide that you can do a portrait or a painting just with one color. And and it's very much indicative of the kind of skies we have here on the East Coast. So I use it quite a lot as well. With serpentine, and look at that. It's just beautiful, the way they mix together. Beautiful granulation from the serpentine mixing with the indanthrone, which doesn't granulate very much. And you can get a beautiful mix. So you can easily see the start of 4 abstract paintings in this sheet here quite easily. And you could mix probably Moonglow with the Sleeping Beauty. I'd love to try that next time. And the indanthrone blue with the quinacridone sienna. They're all mixtures that you should try out, and that's the only way you can really explore and find something that catches your attention. So those are the ones that I've been working on.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's interesting really how we see colors. And for me, like I imagine you all come from different parts of the world, and I always think that our environment also affects the way we see them, even the way we choose colors. Okay, so thanks, Mark. Now we have Erkin. We're going to share Erkin's artwork done with our blues. This is it. And maybe Erkin can share a line or two for this piece. There.
Hello.
Go ahead, Erkin. Which blues?
Hello, everybody. This is my work. I made this work with blue shades, cerulean blue, cobalt blue, and ultramarine blue I used here. For the sale section, I think I mixed paint grays to the ultramarine and the whole also. The sky section, cerulean blue and French ultramarine I used.
Erkin is from Turkey, so I would imagine the skies in Turkey.
Yes, I am from Turkey, Ankara. It's midnight. It's actually about 2 o'clock, first hours of Friday here. Ethel, may I share my screen?
Sure. Yeah. Stop share, and you're gonna do. Erkin, you only have one camera.
Yes, one
there.
camera.
Do you want to share a swatch, Erkin?
Sorry?
What would you like to share? Is it a swatch?
Second
Image.
painting.
Oh, okay.
Made with again.
Okay,
blues.
you can try now. I've just enabled the share screen.
We had a Facebook question while you're figuring that out. The question was, what was the blue in the background of Carrie Waller's painting?
Oh, okay, let's put it back here. Here we go. Carrie, I think your other mic is off.
Sorry. So this jar was the 3 colors here: cobalt blue, phthalo blue, red shade, and indanthrone. If you're talking about the background, I make my own black with indigo and sepia mixture, half and half.
Thank you so much.
So while Erkin's just preparing the other image, let's go back quickly, have a look at Rick's piece. How has it been? And then, of course, after that, we're going to have Sabine, Besnik, Rajat.
I'd like to put a
Wow.
I did make the landscape, made the rooftop here, added the tree. But I do go back with white, like the titanium white, and work inside the trees, trying to create that light and dark contrast. And so, but I like that movement. See how these colors have just beautifully blended together. But it is, like I said, good to have a mat when you're working because it crops it for you. So it's like close to being finished.
So wonderful, Rick.
It's nice to see you like put
Awesome, Rick.
that frame as you do the painting, Rick.
Yes, that also helps too. But you know, using these blues alone is a challenge because I love these, you know, the Quinn Gold and the Quinn Gold Deep, and you know, I'm just tempted to go and grab one of those colors, but I can't because of the exercise we're doing today. However, this is a definite learning experience and exercise.
All right. These, by the way, the swatches, in case you did not notice or you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, we do Thursday recaps, like weekly. And so you get to see the finished painting pieces of the artist, and there are even like recaps or excerpted parts of the demos. Of course, we're gonna have Sabine's.
Yes, I'm just working on my whole project, and so it's so funny to lift and to create, and so you can form with darker places. You can form your project, your picture, and so it's so funny, and it's such a beautiful color. You can lift all and you can make it by yourself. It's the same on the figures. You see, you can lift color and give some places where you can look, and it's just beautiful, just easy. And with a little brush you can make it by yourself, and that's the things I love to make.
You will find more fun painting exercises in Sabine's account in Instagram. Go and check it out. And I'm gonna have Besnik's.
Hi again. I just did this abstract play with brushes. Here I used phthalo blue turquoise, phthalo blue green shade, Prussian blue, Mayan dark blue, and here moon glow. I just tried to make some play with brushes. So in this case, whether I could put a subject of some boat or trees, whatever, it's not something which I usually play with subjects. I always like to play with colors, different kind of colors, but as Rick said, today we have limited palettes, only with blues. I also love to play with different colors, not just blues. But anyway, in Bologna, Rick, when we meet, we will play with many colors, huh? Ethel, do you have time? I would like to do also for 5 minutes another one, or we don't have time?
We don't have time. We are left with 5 minutes. But I was just about to say, Besnik, that Besnik is also known for absolute abstracts. It's a bit available in our Facebook and Instagram. You just do a search, hashtag absolute abstracts, and you'll see how Besnik does well with other colors as well in this direction, but with other set of colors.
Ethel, may I just speak also for the
sticks? Is it? Okay, you have a minute.
Just a minute. I want to take note.
Okay,
moon glow in sticks. Moon glow in sticks. I am using it for drawing, so it's very easy to do. I'm just dipping it in water, and you can make a portrait with it. It's very easy. And when I am doing these portraits, I am not using a brush at all. I am just playing with my hands, just with water.
Ooh.
To make the tones. So I strongly prefer also the sticks for anyone to use like this. It's very easy technique.
That is very cool.
Thanks.
Wow.
In less
Of
than a
course,
minute, you already have the shape of face.
Of course, I need a little bit more minutes, but since we are very tough with timing, it's not so finished.
Catch more of these exercises on Besnik's handles on Instagram and Facebook. I think it's done multiple portraits done in less than 5 minutes time.
Yeah, I also did together with Catherine and John when we were in Dubai show
Yeah,
that
that's
we
the
were together.
latest. Yeah.
So yeah, this is unfinished, of course, but very fast.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. So can use
Did
only
Erkin ever find the picture he wanted to show us?
We're gonna reserve that for the next session. Erkin is
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead with others.
Yes.
Ethel. Please
Thank
go
you,
ahead with Erkin.
Besnik. We're gonna
Okay,
have
okay.
Rajat first and check his finished piece, and then we'll have finally Carrie. Wow, how you turned it into a landscape, Rajat.
Beautiful work, Rajat.
There.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Isn't it amazing? Like
I thought that was Rick. Rajat.
This Rajat's version. Thank you, Rajat. And again, do check out Rajat's realistic pieces too. And one more look at Carrie's, and then we flash all 5 frames. Carrie. Okay. There you go.
I didn't talk, these colors were actually in our color scheme today, that cobalt teal blue. I think that's one of everybody's favorites. And some of the Mayan dark, and of course the Indian thrones. I just want to mention a lot of these colors were in here on this palette today. And someone asked where my little containers came from, and they are, I got them at the Japanese hardware store, but they're just like the pill containers, the 7-day-a-week ones, but you want them to hinge on the back.
Yay. Thank you, Carrie. So we'll proceed to flash on screen like all 5 frames of brand ambassadors who help us with swatches today, just so we have like one glance, and you'll be amazed to realize that with just blues limited palette, you can actually do more. This is Sabine's, and Rajat, can you please hold and show on screen like
Yes.
oops, wait, Rajat. Add it here. Marks is here. Geo swatch is here.
I have one.
Oh, that's Anna. Hang on, Anna.
I'm still working my way through my swatches.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you for sharing, Anna. We hope to see all, like maybe one day, Anna, we hope to see your swatches posted on IG. Like I know you've been doing it.
Thank you.
And just tag us. I think the rest of the community around the world would love to see how you do your swatches too.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
It was lovely, everybody.
Hey, thank you everyone for being so good with time. We hit an hour. It's like exactly 3 o'clock. I think Jan will be happy that we managed well.
This was great. I feel so blue now.
Thank you, everybody. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a guest from Peru. That's Jorge Corpuna. Bye, everyone.